Hi, my name is Hannah Karen. I am a grad student at Fordham's Gabelli School of Business. In my leadership and PR class, we had Davina Kumal come and speak with us. So during this talk, I will talk about Davina's talk, how it impacted me, reflect on her talk using the Rolf's model of reflection, and tell you my opinion about her talk. So, just a little bit about Davina Kumal. Davina Kumal is currently the Senior Manager of Public Relations and Influencer Relations in Forma Beauty. Forma Beauty was founded in 2020 and is based in the US. So a huge part of Davina's talk was her going through her career path, how she landed to where she is. So I'm just gonna go through that fast, just so you have an idea. Davina has a BA from the University of Bedfordshire in the UK and magazine journalism. She graduated in 2014. Davina graduated in 2015 with a master's degree from the same university in relations. Um, Davina started her career while she was attending university with Fleet Ilya as a studio assistant. She also worked for Anya Hindmarch and Harrods. Davina's PR career started with Davina as a PR assistant for Barzilay Associates in 2015. She then moved through various positions. She even worked for Women's Health until she finally attained her role of PR and Communication Coordinator in IIAA. And then now she finally made her role, as stated before, as Senior Manager of PR and Influencer Relations at Forma Beauty. So on a day-to-day basis, Davina's roles include building brand awareness and customer retention in the UK and EMEA region, which is incredibly important, as I said earlier. Forma Beauty is based in the US, so her job essentially is to build brand awareness in the UK, in the EMEA, EU region, a completely different market than the US one. And she does this by finding influencers, which can be a challenge as she has to account for algorithms. She has to look for influencers that talk to a group of people who would be interested in buying makeup in the UK EMEA region. So now moving on to the reflection part, Davina kindly spent a half hour speaking to her class. So I'm just going to reflect on that half hour talk using the Rolf's model of reflection. There are three parts of the Rolf's model of reflection. The first part is what? What was Davina's role in Forma Brands? When Davina started working for Forma Brands, they were based in the US. New to the UK, Forma's American-based company, Davina had her team in public relations skills, used her team in public relations skills to build a footing and awareness of Forma in the UK. How did Davina accomplish this? Davina accomplished this by recruiting social media influencers to advertise and build awareness of Forma brands in the UK. Davina explained finding these influencers was not an easy task. As I said before, you need proper algorithm, the right people who can bring the right awareness to the right crowd, to the correct market. Then Davina explained how for each influencer she had to create a emergency contingency plan, as they're all humans. She can't control them 24/7, and they could say things that she didn't want them to say. So she had to create a plan what to do if that happened, and that had to go with the team. She wasn't the only one to make these plans. She had a plan with the publicist, legal team, what to do if things went wrong, in order to keep Forma's brands still looking good in the media. So the next step in Rolf's reflective model is so what? Essentially, this step describes what I learned from Davina and how I can relate what Davina said to practice. What I learned from Davina is when her career path, much of her half-hour talk was spent on her career path, which is incredibly important to me and the other students in our class as we are graduate students. And how to start our career is often daunting to have someone explain what roles she attained, what roles she went through in order to achieve the success she is today, is gives us a game plan for what we can do. We can follow her steps. We can become a PR assistant for a similar brand in the US and eventually make our way up to where she is. So it gives us an idea of what a stereotypical PR career path looks like. Also, I learned from Davina is that working in public relations, you're not working alone. You're not just working with PR people, you're working with a vast team, including advertisers, publicists, legal. And I learned how incredibly important legal is, especially when dealing with influencers and what you're able to do with them, emergency plan, and so on. So the final stage of Rolf's model, the last stage, is now what? How I change my actions based on Davina's fascinating talk. Now, if I choose to pursue a similar career path as Davina, I will apply to similar roles that she applied to in order to attain the same success as she did. Not the same roles, but I know I have an idea of what map to follow, what path to follow because of her, and what roles I should apply to first. And Davina also mentioned the importance of networking, so I will most definitely work on networking. And as networking is not only important in the PR world and finding your job, networking is also important in building brand awareness, finding influencers. So definitely working on my networking skills, improving them, making sure they're up to par before I am essentially recruited this year, next year for a job. And one thing Davina said that was incredibly important, she said to look through your PR toolbox. Think of all the traits you need to be successful in public relations. Find your weakness and work on them. So I'm going to self-reflect on my weaknesses and I am going to work on them and improve them. So when I am ready to be recruited, when I'm ready to start my internships, when I'm ready to get my job, my weaknesses aren't so weak anymore. And I wanted to thank Davina for coming to speak with our class. It was inspirational, motivating, and it helped immensely. It helped the whole class kind of give us an idea of what an early entry level career in public relations is like. Thank you very much.